Welcome back to the final segment of today's program here on Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Wu Guo. We will continue our conversation with Professor Chen Lin-Lin, who is the Dean of College of Design here at the National Taiwan University of Science and Technology. Professor Chen, I was going to ask you, to start off the segment with the law-related question, based on my own professional training, is the fact that Taiwan, rightly or wrongly, in the past has been accused as a place for piracy. I mean, a lot of people bring up their original ideas, and our manufacturers or our industries will copy it and make it even better. Okay, so certainly in the past 20, 25 years, we've been trying to erase that image internationally, and we have encouraged subsequently the original design, the concept and ideas from our own community here in Taiwan. However, a related question to that, to the encouragement of original ideas, is the fact that have we done enough, as far as the legal protection is concerned, to protect and encourage in the process the original, birth of original ideas and concepts, and make sure that these designers, this idea, conceivers, understand that their concepts, their ideas, whether it's for a product, whether it's for a certain building or a certain design, is protected while within the realms of the legal institutions here in Taiwan. What do you think?
Yeah, I have to say that the legal aspects of developing new original ideas have not been emphasized enough in our design education.
Okay.
But that would be an essential element. If once we move from a manufacturing center to a design innovation center, we need to know,
of course,
how to protect our own development, our own ideas, and how to do that legally and constructively, benefiting everybody involved. We will need to emphasize that in our design education. But let me also say that I told you before that I run this Ideas Storming project to try to bridge design and engineering. Okay. The NSC has also been running other projects as well. So mine from the design perspective. And there are three centers, one in National Taiwan University, one in National Jiao Tong University, and one in National Chen Kung University, that is coming from the engineering point of view. So there are centers that will try to integrate different disciplines to come up with new products, but not just concepts, so including the technology. And there, one of the important issues that I have not yet known if it is solved and how it will be solved is how do we, since there are multiple parties participated in the development of the idea, so how can we share
the intellectual property rights?
The intellectual property rights. If without solving this problem, what will happen is that initially people may participate in the project, but some people may feel that their idea
is being copied.
It's being copied or being taken over. And then people might not want to participate in such kind of cross-disciplinary collaborative project anymore. To make sure that this development continues, it is very important that we have people from the law community. And I know that there are some professors that are looking into these problems. But exactly how it can be solved, how we can do it, is well, I think it is an important issue.
Other than the legal dimension that we just discussed, what are the other government supports that you think will be welcome in terms of encouraging new ideas, innovation, creativity within Taiwan?
I think for the bigger corporations, they have many channels,
of course,
to getting grants and funding and supports from the government. But as I said, I think Taiwan has a bunch of young people who has a lot of creativity power.
Yeah.
But these people, they are mainly, basically, they are supporting themselves by their daytime job.
Of course.
This kind of an arrangement cannot last for a long time.
No.
And it cannot grow very big.
No.
But think about the crafts. Craftsmen. Taiwan has many with very high standard craftsmanship artists. But these people, they are sort of more limited in scale. I think Taiwan should try, the government should try to build up a platform.
Okay.
And I know that there are some development in that area too.
Yes.
How do we evaluate these creative capital?
Okay.
People's creativity, can we sort of like when we take a physical property to go to the bank to borrow the money?
No.
Is it possible
With
to develop some way to evaluate how good or how creative a certain individual is, the creative capital?
Okay.
So to say.
Okay.
And if we can evaluate that, then maybe they will be able to get some funding.
Of course.
And being able to develop into a bigger company.
I'm intrigued by your idea of creative capital.
Yeah.
Is that something that's being discussed currently at the government level?
Yes.
And would we like to see any concrete measures in the coming months or years that we can translate that into real actions?
I think there have been some discussions, and we may see some, you know, that there is no correct answer.
No.
And so people are trying, and I expect that we may see something in the next few years.
Okay.
But anything is better than nothing. I think for these young people, they have to have some way to start.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for some of the viewers who might be watching our program around the globe today, may have original ideas or some concept they want to develop further. What would be, as a educator in the design field, what would be some of the recommended steps that you can tell them, you can share with them, as to take their ideas, the originally conceived concept, and take it to the next step? And how do they, go about it so they don't, waste a lot of times or a lot of trial and errors along the way? What would be your recommendation?
I think if you want to have your idea implemented,
yes,
do expect that there will be failures.
Yes.
But I don't think there is any other way.
Okay.
I think what we need to what Taiwan is lacking,
yes,
very often,
yes,
is that because we are only manufacturing other people's idea,
I would do very well at it. Yes.
We didn't see how many times they failed before they come up with the right answer.
Yes.
We only see the final products, and we just manufacture them.
Yes.
And so I see one of the biggest mental block that need to be overcome by Taiwan and by Taiwan's companies' bosses.
Yes.
Is that we need to know the failures are inevitable.
Yes.
What is important is that we learn from these mistakes, but we have to take the risk.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. If we don't take any risk, then we will never be successful.
Yes.
I think that what we should do is not to completely eliminate risk, but to say a certain percentage of safe bets.
Yeah, of course.
And to have a certain percentage of risky bets.
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Only by doing so can we ever hope to become an innovative country.
Yeah, and finally, Professor Chen, we have come across in the news, recently, a number of the clothing and fashion designers from Taiwan have won very internationally prestigious awards.
Yes.
And this certainly is a sign of encouragement, as you mentioned, the younger generation in Taiwan, does have a lot of good ideas, and they would like to, bring it to fruition, to reality. And based on that, what would be some of the things that you can see as an educator and also the kind of a coordinator between the industry and between the designer community? How can we, based on this budding international recognition, and make Taiwan's design industry to the next plateau, to the next level?
Yeah, I think the accumulation of any abilities takes time.
Of course.
Taiwan has already invested 20 to 30 years. Mm-hmm. We have a fertile ground, not just in terms of technology, but also Taiwan is very strong in terms of humanities and culture.
Yes.
Taiwan has traditionally been the meeting place of the West and the East.
Yes.
Taiwan's society is full of contradicting traditions and modernicities.
Okay.
And so because of all these different ideas, we have influences from the US.
Yes.
We have influences from Japan. Mm-hmm. We have influences from China, mainland China.
Yes.
Traditional Han culture. So I'm not surprised at seeing these developments.
Okay.
What has been blocking them is the question that we should be asking.
All right.
In one of these important design conferences, I have the opportunity to meet Don Norman, who is a very famous design author.
Yes.
Yes. And I asked him, what do you think Taiwan should do? What do you think we should do?
To get to the next level.
To get to the next level. And he said that Taiwan people should do, Taiwan designers should do whatever they think is correct.
Okay.
We cannot rely on other people to think for us.
Okay.
We must think for ourselves.
Yes.
Take risk.
Okay.
Because we want to succeed.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Chen. And those are very encouraging words, for the design industry in general in Taiwan. We certainly look for, bigger and better things coming out of the, Taiwan indigenous designers in the future. Thank you very much for being on our program today.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time on Macroview Television. Thank you.